Hello viewers, my name is Haji Isaac Mulindwa, known as Haji Makinawa. I was born in 1939 in Mbarara. My father was Salimu Mpulunguse and my mother Asia Chikyo. Both were Buganda by tribe. I was grown up in a home which was a chief man in that area, and we are very strict in discipline and manners, but education was a little bit low because my father was a Muslim, staunch Muslim, the first Muslims to be converted in Uganda in the 1840s, and he was not very much interested in educating his children, apart from me. Among others, I was the one who was educated, but others were not. The UFM started way back in 1955 when I was still a young man. A man called by Agustino Kamya came out because we were staying in the same village, Makindye. He came out to me and told me that we have got a problem with the economy here. What can we do? We discussed the way how we can transfer economy from the Indians to Africans. We formed the UFM in 1955 between me, Agustino Kamya, and the lady called Madame Nkata. Her husband was the head teacher of Gombe Senior Secondary School in Butambala, and we joined and others like Binaisa, Jojo Chiwanuka, the grandfather of the former Attorney General. We started the UFM by then, but it was on business, not on political aspects. The president of Kenya invited the fighting forces from Uganda, including the NRA, all of us, to go in Nairobi and have a peace talk. We can solve all the problem we had for the turmoil for the long time. Maybe we can solve it there. I was representing my UFM in that meeting, and the meeting didn't went well because our colleague, the President Museveni at present, he was not agreeing to shake hands with Lutwa, and he did not. And we left Nairobi with nothing, and we came back here. But government was overthrown maybe on Friday, and on Tuesday I was present in Kampala because we were invited to come and join the government of Lutwa. So I was the first man to come in Kampala and join and request the Lutwa government, how are we going to work together with them, and what will be our status. First of all, we wanted the headquarters to be assigned to us, which they did. They assigned me Speak Hotel to compile all my executives to come down and assemble there, then we administrate ourselves. That's what we did. That's how we got to Speak House, and I was there in Speak Hotel. In 1980, Kayiira wanted to form a party, which he didn't have. But he was told by somebody somewhere, Isaac Mulindwa Haji, he had an organization before with the other people, which we can be transformed again, and it will be better. That is UFM. He approached me, and he joined the UFM. We agree, but it was not registered yet. It was in verbal because it was very strong. We organized during our time to tell people not to buy things from Indians, not to board buses, because the buses were owned by the state. So it was very effective by then. Now Kayiira, when we sat down and formed that UFM again, revived the UFM, Uganda Freedom Movement, not Uganda Freedom Army, it was Uganda Freedom Movement. We started that one with him. We organized ourselves. We recruit people to form a Uganda Freedom Army to fight Obote. Because Obote was notorious to us, we didn't like him, and he didn't like us. And things started, going astray from 1966 when he abolished the Uganda government. then things went wrong, and we didn't like it. That's why we fought him. We fought in the guerrilla activities, but all that when we were fighting, we knew each other, the NRA government, NRM army, and the UFM, others were FEDEM and all that. We knew each other. We knew. And we used to have some meetings somewhere, somehow, confidentially, which I don't want to reveal, but they were there. Then in 1985, the government was overthrown by all of us. By then we were on Speaker Hotel. Our army headquarters was in Gaba. We had to assemble our troops to Mubende, Kabamba Barracks. All the troops which we had and nationals were transferred to Mubende for the reason why, because we wanted to unite the whole army in one umbrella, to be commanded by Commander-in-Chief, who is His Excellency the President of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And the day was arranged. I drafted the memorandum of understanding to hand over our troops from ourselves to NRM. It was properly arranged, free of endurance. It was not under duress to us. It was willing, and we hand over our troops freely without any penny at all. But the people says, because we were corrupted, we were not corrupted. We are not given any single penny to hand over our troops to Mubende. It was a broad daytime. We went to Nakaima's place at Mubende, which is on the hill, on top of the hill. In that meeting, I was with the Kayiira, who was the commander-in-chief of our troops, and myself, who was the chairman of the political committees, and Bwenje Francis, who was the Secretary General for the UFM, and a few others. Then on the other side, it was headed by His Excellency the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni himself, who was the president there, General Salim Saleh, Eti Serwanga Rwanga, and the former army commander, Mugisha Muntu, and others. Then it was around 5:30 like that, we hand over our memorandum to him freely. I repeat, freely and willingly. There was no any bullet fired at all. From there, we came down to the barracks, which was commanded by our troops. We had some commanders, namely late Kodir, late Ariga, late Captain Kasunku, and others. By the time of having these sub-counties to be governed by the chairmans, I was one of them who was the chairman of Gombe sub-county, Wachiso district. I was the chairman of that, but by then it was Mpigi district, not Wachiso. Wachiso came after. Then I wrote a letter to His Excellency because I had a problem. There were so many skeletons on the roads, on the where, all scattered. But they are all collected and put in one place in sub-county at Gombe, in bags, polyethylene bags, piled in one room. It was terrible for anyone to come and look at it. Then when the government used to send some, the chief administrators, the accountants on the sub-county, and all those stuff, they all feared. They come and look on the skeleton, they ran out. They come and look. I remained alone on the sub-county, so I could not manage. I knew the cause was because of the skeleton. It was people were scared of. I wrote a letter to His Excellency President by then, asking him to come and bury the skeletons, because for me, I couldn't distinguish who is the Muganda, who is the Munyankore, and who is the Muchori, they're all heroes. They're all heroes. They are fighting on their own causes. The Machoris were fighting not to be removed in the government, and we were fighting to remove them. So in crossfire, we killed each other. Now all of the skeletons were gathered together There is no way you can identify this and that. So that's why I wrote a letter to the president, which he acknowledged it. It was signed and he agreed to officiate officially the Heroes Day to start in Gombe. That's when it was started. I'm also proud because to see that all sub-counties started off doing the same thing, to gather all the schools which were there, especially in Tuero Triangle. So many of them, it has been held even in those places where the war which was not effected. But the Heroes Day it used to spread all over the country, which was very good to unite people and to remember where we came from and not to repeat the mistake which we had. It is a very good idea because for me, I'm not corrupted. And I wish the president should appoint me one of the committees, anti-corruption committee, to be the advisors. I know how to govern that one, and I know how I can advise. I know how we can eradicate the corruption, because the government cannot eradicate corruption alone. No way. We need to sensitize people who are giving the bribe and those who are receiving it. But I have the way of doing it. It is very good. We used to spend a lot of money with this Heroes Day from here to there, here to there. People are coming, feasting, doing what, talking, and all of this. It is not good to spend money for nothing. It is good to spend money on development. At least we have to develop our country, not only in the Heroes Day. Let us discard all these functions which are being held, small functions here and there. No. First of all, I am a Buganda by tribe, and I put my tofari, the brick, on Buganda. There is no way you can separate me to be a Muganda, and I'm now the judge, the grandfather of my clan, which is Indisa clan. I'm the only grandfather remaining still alive of the whole clan. Therefore, I'm Muganda. And when before the Ssaabasajja Kabaka was thrown in on his chair, we convened the meetings, which I was also involved, to see how these things will run. I have some letters which you have seen yourself. You have letters of appreciations of what I did to install the Kabaka and all, to even his marriage. I was the one of the organizers. So really, I'm in Uganda, and I like Buganda, and I'm proud of it. But as well, I'm a Ugandan. It is very good you have asked that question. Before that Wales creation was created, General Salim Saleh invited me from my place and to Kapeka. I went to his house, asking me how can we revive the economy of our country, because people, whenever His Excellency go, all of them will raise up their hands and asking the question in their mouth was, we are poor, nothing, everywhere. And he will get tired of it. That was the word from General Salim Saleh. Then I told him, look, for me, I'm not in the government. I'm just a farmer. I'm being in my farm. I'm doing my business. How can I advise on that? He says, no, I know you can do something about that. Then I requested him to give me a day or two to go and think it over. He agrees. I went back to my Busikiri farm. I thought at the night, 2 nights. Then I come with a proposal to him, telling him that if you want to revive the economy and the people to work, the government should revert back the things which were abolished before. He asked me which are those ones. I told him one was cooperative societies, commercial banks, and other goods. Therefore, if we do that, and the Kawanda State Research, even Namarere, and the importance of Namarere by then, I told him in my memorandum, which I gave to Salim Saleh, the importance of Namarere before in colonial time, all equipment and machinery were imported from overseas. we don't manufacture anything here. First of all, they have to be tested to Namalere. Namalere, when they test it, then they give it to them people. Now we have to revive Namalere to put it back as it was. We import vehicles and machineries, then even agriculture tractors to be assembled in Namalere. After that, it will be distributed to sub-counties and work for the peasants. Then production will increase. He bought my ideas and he said he went to consult. I think he consulted his brother in Entebbe. The following meeting, he came with a proposal again, with a paper in my hand. He says, now we have another idea. What was it? We have to inform Operation Wealth Creation. You are also incorporated. Myself, I was also incorporated right after the beginning. I said, fine. But I advised him, if you want to do this Operation Wealth Creation, don't incorporate it with the armed forces. Let it be with the civilians, private ones. It will work because people are fearing, even by then, people are fearing army people. And army people are good to command themselves, but they can't command the civilians. I want to thank His Excellency, the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, my president, who has been my president and is still my president. My appreciation from the bottom of my heart that he governed this country very nicely, because on my background, on my age, I've been here for a long time. I've seen how we came from and where we are now. Before, people are crying with roads, with what? I know our roads, how we are looking by that time, and the roads, how we are, the hospital, the schools, everything. It is really recommendable. You better give a credit where it is due. There are some people who say he has done nothing, even for themselves, they have done nothing on themselves. But you think of a man who commanding the whole country. Before he took over the government, we are about 14 million. But now we are in 50 million. And he's governing all of us. And we agree. We have to accept. And I do appreciate and really gratitude, especially I had land grabbers in my farm at Busikiri. My land grabbers, they were well organized. They grabbed my land, and he was there himself on my land for almost 5 years. He knew how farm was and what was there, and he called me by phone. It was around 10. He called me and he asked me what was going wrong. I told him I had land grabbers on my farm, and I don't know where they came from. They claimed that I have revenge on my land, which was not there. Even it is not there. He told me on phone that they are not going to come back. The following day, I got a written letter from Madame Kichoncho, written on behalf of the president, requesting, commanding the Inspector General Police to see that those land grabbers should not be anymore on my farm at Busikiri. They should go. They didn't own any land. They didn't own any revenge on it from his experience and long time he had on my farm. I thank him for that, and really thank him for that. And then he announced on TV and everything, this Kisanja is not a Kisanja of bribe. I recommend that one. People should not take bribes. And those who are really corrupted, they should be axed from the government. And those who are appointed already, and they knew that they are corrupted, they should stop that habit of receiving money without developing our country. And on that note, I congratulate myself to elect His Excellency the President, and I also congratulating him to be elected by all people of Uganda. And you get almost 70% votes. People are claiming this here and there, but that is no. It is a mere say. You were elected nicely. This Kisanja is a real Kisanja for work not for joke. This Kisanja is not for talk. Let us stop talking too much. Let us start working. It is Kisanja for work. If you are given a Minister of Works, please do the job you are given, and others, not sleep. And again, our parliamentarian, you are so many in the parliament, right? But if you have something to say, come back to the voters. Seek advice to we people, peasants, because we are the one who elected you to go in the parliament. Don't take your thinking and thinking that you are brave than ourselves. No, we are brave than you. You better come back and we'll give you what you say in the parliament. As a freedom fighter, your comrade, I wish you a happy holidays of Heroes Day. I thank UBC for this program, for God and my country.